Hello. There you go. So here are your homework problems. I'll zoom in unless you see numbers 1 and 2. So here's 1 and 2. So y'all have any questions on 1 or 2? Let's see.
I didn't get one right, but my mom said that I got all of them right, and I'm so confused.
Okay, well, we'll look and see if see where the mistake is. So 5 times 3 is 15, right? 17 minus 15 is 2, so it should be 3 and 2/5.
Well, I got 3 and 3.
Oh, I know why. It's because I made a mistake in a different place. Can you find my mistake? Find it. Find it.
Does anyone have a pencil lead? I'm completely out of pencil lead with this pencil. No. Because 12 plus 6
What is 18? That's right. Yep. Which means that 3 3/5 is correct. Yep. Okay. And there's number 2. And then numbers 3 and 4. Okay. So did you divide it backwards? Did you multiply 3 on everything? Okay, good. So then did you end up with this? -1 minus 6y equals 0? No. Well, what did you end up with then? Okay, well that's what we get when we multiply 3 times -1/3. Three times -1/3, right? Because you got to multiply 3 on everything. Seems possible. Okay. Numbers 3 and 4 are right there. It may take us a little time to get some of these. It's fine. This is brand new. So if we're not quite getting it yet, or if we were real confused on the quiz or something, or even a little bit confused, that would probably be better. But on the quiz, then that's probably okay because this is brand new. There's skills that we've already seen, but the putting it together this way is brand new. So. Number 2, why is it negative? So let's walk through it. So we ended up with this, right? This line right here. And then we add 1 to both sides, right? And so we end up with -6y equals 1, right? And then we divide by -6 on both sides to get rid of this -6. Machine. So those cancel, right? And then you have 1 divided by -6, which is a negative. So that's why it's negative. Does that make sense? Good. All right, there's 3 and 4. We're going to do a little bit of practice, and then we're going to do homework. We have any questions on 3 or 4? right there. Okay. So when you multiplied 3 on everything, did you end up with this? So do you have negative z on there? Negative z is the same as negative 1z. That's the same. So that's fine. Do you have that minus 2 equals 3? You have negative z? Okay, so you should have been multiplying 3, right, on everything. 3 times negative 2/3. If we pre-reduce, right? 1 and 1. 1 times 2 is 2, so it should have been negative 2. And then for the very last one, we've got 3/3 times 3. We can pre-reduce again, either way, actually. 1 times 3 is 3. So we should have had 3 over here. If after this step, if you go from this step to this step and you still have fractions, you did something wrong. Because that's the whole point of doing this step, is to get rid of those fractions. I don't either. Okay, let's look at the quiz problems. Let's look at that next, since our brains are already in those. So the quiz problems, I'll take a look at and see how we did on that here soonish.
Do you have a passage right there?
I do not.
Didn't you say that soon we were going to get progress reports?
Yeah, I did.
Said that a while ago, actually.
True, but soon doesn't mean right now. So there it is. What does Aslan say? I call all times soon. All right. So what should we have done to solve this problem? Let's talk it through. These are the quiz problems, which I did just say, but that's okay. Welcome back. What should we do to solve this problem? Somebody's got to have some clue somewhere. Okay, so how do we get rid of the 2? Now what happens? Now what happens?
6x equals 19.
Perfect. Yeah, we're going to bring down everything we haven't touched. And then what now?
That doesn't work, so you divide. So there's no 6 anymore, but 6 divided by 19 is 3.
6 goes into 19 3 times. Is that what you said? Yeah, that's correct. 3 times 6 is how many?
9. Or no. 18.
18. 19 minus 18. 1. So our final answer is 3 and 1/6. So that was number 1, right?
Oh, I just got 3. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Looked like you did. Sounds like you had it down pretty good. Maybe you forgot to do a part of it or something. Number 2. was negative 1/2 x minus 4 equals 32. What should we do first? Put brackets around it, and then, because we're trying to get rid of the fraction. That's our goal.
So it's not just to make it look like
The brackets tell us we're multiplying, right? All right, that's what we're doing. And the reason we're multiplying is we're getting rid of the fractions. So what are we going to put outside the brackets on this problem? 2.
But why do we do that?
Because we're using whatever the least common denominator is. On the ones we've done so far, and this will be true for the next week or two, there's only been one fraction. So it's whatever the only denominator is. We'll look at some soon-ish that have more than one fraction, and we'll see what to do when we do that. Good question. Okay, so we multiply 2 times negative 1/2. What's 2 times negative 1/2? Negative 1. So negative x. Yes, if it matches. If it matches, yes. Again, we'll see what happens when the fractions don't necessarily match, but we'll do that on another day, probably in a week or two. Okay, so then 2 times negative 4 is what? No. You can, but you don't have to. How about I put it in a different color? That way we remember that it can be there or it cannot be there. How's that sound? Okay, so then 2 times negative 4. So minus 8 equals 32 times 2. 64. Now hold on to your hats. I even did it cognizantly. What are we going to do next? Add 8 to both sides. Okay. What's going to come down now? Negative 1x equals. That should make you happy. Focus. 64 plus 8. 72. It's actually the right answer for once. Well, okay, maybe it's not going to make you completely happy then. We got to do one more thing. Divide. By negative 1, right? So x equals, negative 72. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we'll finish looking at this quiz next class. Imagine I'll see where everybody's at on their stuff, see what levels of remembering we have and how deep we need to continue to go. But let's give you a little bit more practice on ones like those. Here's some homework problems for you. Number 1. 2/7 x minus 2 equals 1.
Are all of these going to be like the quiz?
Yes. Number 2.
2/7?
Yes. Negative 3/4.
Is that 2/7?
It is 2/7. I don't usually draw Roman ones, but if I do, I always put the bottom on it. But you're always welcome to ask. Minus 3y equals 15. Number 3. 3 minus, no, equals 3 plus 8/11 z. Number 4. One tenth L plus 2 equals -100. Number 5. It's an 8. 8/11. You're talking about this. I never draw my 8s like that. They always look like that. That's a 3. But you're always welcome to ask.
That's a 3?
That's definitely a 3.
Okay, sure.
Definitely don't draw weird disconnected 8s. Doesn't exist. That is a weird looking 3. We'll call it fancy to make me feel better. How's that sound? Yeah, curvy 3. Curvy is supposed to be a cool thing, right? Negative. A body positive 3. That's funny. -1/2 m minus 2, yes, equals 4. Number 6 is,
But if you have a fraction by a number, would it mean division?
it means it's, well, yes, technically, but we're going to get rid of the fractions, so but yes, technically, yes. Good catch. Technically, yes, but I don't want you to solve it that way. But yes, actually, totally. That's good thinking. 2/5 plus 3/5 a equals -43/5. There's your homework. When you finish copying those, you may make like a tree and get out of here.